gotta work up to that.
That's the, I know this one.
That was cool.
I know which one's the biggest one. That one. Yeah, this one.
That's the school I go to. This is mine and this is my dad.
No, that's the school I go to. This is yours?
Yep, Martin Wright Elementary. That's our mascot.
As model rockets and then become amateur rockets or high rockets. So looking at our rockets on static display, you tell me, do you think this is a model rocket or an amateur rocket?
Model.
Yeah, that's going to be a model rocket.
Is it model if it's not made out of like metal or something?
Well, that's a really good question. To be a model rocket, if you'll read your safety code, it can't, and that's why this is on here. That's why this is the top page. This is the most important thing in rocketry, is always what? Safety. So if you read this, you'll find out to be a model rocket, it can't have any major metal components. So you've got a rocket sitting on the pad. It hasn't launched yet. It's just waiting. To elevate that rocket, you apply thrust. So that's two forces, right? You've got the thrust overcoming the weight. But as the rocket begins to move, is there another force acting on the rocket?
Yeah.
I mean, what force is that?
Drag.
Drag. Drag, that's right. Lorenzo, who flew the first rockets, you think?
Maybe the Germans?
Maybe the Germans, yeah, they had to be. Quentin, who do you think?
Russians.
The Russians, that's a pretty good guess.
So basically, in high school, I knew I wanted to do engineering because I liked building things. Rockets specifically, just about every branch of STEM, you will see some involvement in rocketry.
This was set as, or we labeled this as an introduction to model rocketry for the 10 to 14 age group. Some instructions.
On that side down. So measure right here.
What do you think this is?
1 inch from this side.
Yep.
We have the engine block.
Somebody work on that now.
Which I think that's that one right there. That's correct.
See, this actually doesn't go
This
like
part
this.
right here.
Also, guys, see this little piece of aluminum angle line here? This is real good for drawing straight lines on the body tubes. Okay, what's the first shot? How long is that?
There should be a little metal piece there, see that?
This first, let's do it.
Put that
Make sure that the part of the hook that bends inward is facing towards the inside.
Put this in there. Right there, right?
I'm sure Paul's got a kit somewhere.
Right now, what's the next?
Just
Yeah,
tie
we're
this,
cutting out the thing. We're waiting for it.
tie that to this right here.
A little bit of the glue
Tie
underneath
that to
it'll.
this right here. Wait, why isn't this poked out?
Yeah, you see that. So.
Again, just a little bit of glue.
Makes sense.
When we do this launch log, this launch log comes up. How far we're going to say right now?
Put it this far down.
Make sure that's bent out to the line. Slide it into the tube and put that line.
So we need to mark up. Where's your pencil?
There you go.
I'm gonna put the someone on.
So that's why you have to start here. Otherwise, you could have marked it on the
90-degree angle here. I come together, bring that together like that. And you see how I've got a nice little, this is folded up and that's folded down. Then I'll come over like this. It's sort of a complicated way to do that, I realize that. And then I'll bring in like this. And then I'll start to roll it up. Now hold some tension on that. In fact, it's always good to have some help.
Whatever's this.
Just taking a very little bit of this, see? Not very much at all. And I'm just going to tamp that down a little bit. Now I don't want to tamp it down a lot. I just sort of want it to go to the bottom of the tube. And then I'm going to take my shock cord and we're going to put it in like this. And then take your parachute, put that down in there. Details, right, weight, length, brand, etc. Well, the brand is Estes. Don't worry about the weight. The diameter is 24 millimeters. Okay? These are all the same.
Can I?
Sorry?
You mentioned the link. What was the link?
A length. Oh. Well, you can measure it. Just watch.
Hashtag rocket launch.
Nate.
Looks to me like it's about 13 inches.
There you go. 13
About
inches.
13. When we get back from lunch, we have a drawing for a giveaway. A fellow by the name of John Bean has developed some revolutionary electronics for model rockets. This is what he calls an altimeter 3. This is a little altimeter that goes in your rocket, tell you how it flies, how high it flies, how fast it flies, etc. This device connects via Bluetooth. Everybody know what Bluetooth is? I bet you all the kids know what Bluetooth is.
Yes.
This connects via Bluetooth to your mommy's or daddy's, or I guess your cell phone. Connects to your cell phone and will show you a graph and chart of how high your rocket flew. Fairly expensive item, and he was courteous enough to, nice enough to donate this. And so we'll have a drawing for this when we get back. Okay? And whoever wins this, once you get back from launch, will get to fly in their rocket today. The igniter and how it's just a piece of wire.
Yes.
The one exception to that is, at the end of this wire is a very fine filament.
Okay, now.
And then
We need it.
You remember the person that has to look at their rocket and inspect it first,
Who's that? He tracked you.
but he's not ready.
That.
Who wants to be on pad number 1? Your hand, I think, went up first. Okay, so let's see your rocket. Present me your rocket. Okay, and present your card. Okay, and usually I'd take the card and I'd say, Mr. Reeves, did you assemble this rocket yourself? To which your answer would be yes, right? Have you checked for stability? Are you sure that it's glued together, that it'll be structurally sound? Sure the nose is not too loose or not too tight. I'm also going to check the launch lug. This launch lug looks like it has plenty of glue on it, so it'll stay. Then I'm going to check, because this is a fin can, to make sure this is glued in good, and the motor and everything, and all that looks good. So assuming the parachute is in good, which the RSO is usually not going to check, they're depending on the fact that the flyer knows how to pack a parachute. You go with one of these helpful looking guys here and take your rocket out. You don't have to put it on pad 1, but Drew, obviously make sure you write it in the right pad. Okay, who's next? I think Steve.
Okay, so the tube you have on the side here, you'll just slide it over this rod.
At the bottom?
This tube here. The one on the side. So, let's stick it over here. There you go. And slide it all the way down. So the important thing with this is that you make sure these clips are all the way on so they won't pull loose. And at this point, once that is armed and we go back there, they can launch.
Anybody else over there still?
No, this is everybody.
Oh, I thought there was an 8th rocket.
No, there's only 7, I think, right?
Okay.
Daddy, I'm gonna watch yours.
Okay, but scoot that way. Scoot.
Ready to launch, folks? And what we're going to do this time out, somebody mentioned about launching them all of them at once, and I'm sure they thought they were kidding, But technically, within the safety code, since we've only got 7 rockets, we could actually do that here. However, that's a little bit of oh my gosh, darn it, you said however. However, that's a little bit aggressive. So what we're going to do is we're going to launch 2, 2, and then 3 at once. Now, what's important about this though is that if we launch more than 1 rocket at once, the rule is there must be a person for each rocket to watch where it goes. Next, we've got Flossie and Lorenzo, front and center, please. Everybody else behind the flight line.
Flossie, Lorenzo.
Okay. Flossie is number 3. Lorenzo is number 4, right?
End up badly. If you make it both.
Number 3 has the altimeter from Rocket Life. Okay, we've got Flossie and Lorenzo in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh! Man, they almost hit. And they might have to hit each other.
I won.
Got a good yellow and black parachute and a marginal orange and white chute, but it'll be okay. Pads 5, 6, and 8. Eli, Todd, and Jaden drag racing in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh
my God!
Highest. I went the highest.
Hey, somebody rigged my locker. Hey, they did.
We won.
Jaden burned through the igniter.
Hey, somebody rigged it. Hey, that doesn't count. No.
We got great shoots though. Got great shoots.
Closest to the pad. Closest to the pad.
Yeah,
It's
is that
me.
it?
Mine is still fine. It has no holes or anything in it.
You talked about the athletics end of this, and this is kind of a new foray for you guys. What was the idea behind today?
So, you know, we've talked about providing continuing education for our student athletes throughout the years. I was approached by someone in our community to incorporate more of a STEM type educational outlet, and we came across this opportunity to partner with a local Rocket Model Club, and we thought it would be a fantastic idea to utilize what we're doing from a program and you know, provide a message out to the community and get some kids from our local area out to the park that we participate at to take more advantage of the park facilities and give the kids more to do outside of sports.
Got to be a unique approach. I mean, you guys also seem very to involve parents.
Absolutely, absolutely. Parents are a very important part of our what we do. You know, obviously we need the parents to get the kids to and from our sports outlets, but you know, we encourage parents to be more involved, more active. You know, a lot of times parents today just sit on the sidelines and you know, kind of, you know, to air quote, you know, a statement, want to coach from the sidelines. However, you know, the more they're involved, the more they understand what we're trying to accomplish, the more they're involved with the direction of the program, and especially things like this, the more active they are to get their kids involved to participate in outlets outside of sports, the better the children are going to be in the long run.
What did you learn from today?
You know, this was a cool event for me. I've never been involved with model rocketry, and just seeing, you know, how it all comes together, and some, you know, the guys that were involved from Volunteers today providing information around, you know, how this comes together from a base level model rocket all the way up to, you know, more professional, you know, I hope I'm saying that right, more professional grade rocket. It's very exciting. It's really cool to see how that comes together and then watch the kids actually build something that they get to launch in the air and see their faces get excited when that happens.
You feel this is moving you more toward your end goals of?
I think so. You know, I was just talking, you know, for Interestingly enough, we had a teacher have her children here today from one of the local schools, and we were just talking a few minutes ago about other things that we could potentially do with the program. Because I always encourage ideas to come up, and one of the things I asked her to do is think about some other activities we can incorporate into our program and bring them to bear, and hopefully see some more activities come up soon.
Kind of cool when you offer kids, you want to come launch a rocket, huh?
Yeah. You don't get to do that every day.
Well, you guys have a beautiful place too.
The city's been great for us here at Spring Hill. We're continually looking at opportunities to grow park outlets and amenities and so forth. Not just for sports, but obviously more space, more green space for the whole community to get involved and do things. And, just like if you walk outside today, there's picnics and there's people just walking around the walking trails and just having fun. So that's what this is about. And
pick it up right there. Saying that this is what this is about.
That's what this is about, and just to see the community out here enjoying what we are able to have as a community is great. And the more that we can do from a program too to provide outlets for all levels of children, the better. Again, the city's been very good to partner with, so we're excited.
Let's talk about some of the objectives of today, not just for the city of Spring Hill, but for MC2. Tell me about our involvement with this and what it means to the club.
Well, MC2, of course, is a club. We're a group of volunteers, volunteer officers, a group of members, and this type of event serves as outreach, both in just bringing value and benefit to the community, and also a certain amount of member outreach. We hope that a few of the parents and even a few of the youth, the kids, they go on to get interested in the hobby, and if they don't become a member of our club, become a member of one of the national associations, and go on to do this to varying degrees. It's some type of lifelong hobby. That's the goal. And particularly in this day and age when STEM, which science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and to some level STEAM, that includes the arts portion of it, this is not just a hobby to play with anymore. This is something that becomes part of a student's college career, whether or not they go on to be having a career in engineering. And if they do, then it becomes a part of something that becomes part of their career. We have members of the club that are college students. Some of them are working on experimental laboratory projects, some things that nobody has ever done before. And they're college-age youth, you might say. They're a decade older than some of the youth that you might have seen here in this class today or this camp today.
Talk to me about, Paul talked about it's easy for them to do the athletics, the soccer, the baseball, and all that kind of stuff. Talk to me about the club facilitating something a little out of their norm as far as what we did.
You're talking about the Hawks as a group, etc.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
well, this is certainly not a large percentage of what they do.
Sure.
But if you check the Hawks mission statement, you'll see that they talk about balance. And in any type of balanced youth program, you're going to have sports. You're going to have educational pursuits. You're going to have maybe even some artistic pursuits. Therefore, that ties in nicely with the STEM or STEAM concept of movement. And STEM doesn't mean anything in particular except that it is about science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So it may be a small percentage of what they do as a sports organization, but it is part of what they do.
Talk to me about the involvement of parents.
Parents in this camp serve both an outreach role and a practical role. Let me start with a practical role. At this age, between 10 or 14, you can take a 10-year-old that maybe doesn't have the dexterity even to put together a fairly simple rocket. The parents then can help them and do that. We're fortunate, we had a large group of volunteers today, so even without some of the parents, we were able to do what we needed to do. So from a practical matter, you want the parents. Also from an outreach perspective, you want the parents. Because if you involve the kids with the parents and the parents see that the kids enjoy doing a STEM activity, that pretty much secures or guarantees that the parents know enough about what's involved that they're not fearful of going to their, here's the plug for Hobby Lobby, they're not fearful of going to Hobby Lobby or ordering an altimeter from Jolly Logic or Amazon or something like that. They're not fearful of that. There's also another piece of that outreach is that, you know, we love to have youth members of the club. We've got a particular sector for that. There's youth NAR memberships. They're called junior memberships. And the NAR is the National Association of Rocketry. But we also want to outreach to parents. I think we had a parent today, absolutely seems to love the sport. We would like him to come be a member of the club. We would like him to build bigger rockets. We would like him to certify in higher power amateur rockets as well. So the parents have a dual, if not sort of triplicate role in that. When we do future classes with older groups of individuals, then the parents can come along, or they may just attend the class by themselves, because at that point they have the dexterity and the knowledge to read instructions and go through the steps with a minimum amount of supervision. You have a large class, 20-some folks. You can't have a volunteer necessarily for every one of them. That's difficult to do. So that's why the parents are so important at this level between the 10 and the 14 age group.
One last question. Talk to me about bringing the wow factor of what we do to a STEM program like this.
Well, you know, that's a really good point, because there are a lot of things that you could do that are STEM. Arguably something even like chess you might be able to argue as a STEM, as an intellectual pursuit. Certainly the technology aspect of it, when you talk about artificial intelligence and playing machines and things like that. And I like chess, but I'll tell you, it is not that too terribly exciting. Things don't go fly wish. Things don't go, you know, whoosh and boom, and then go up in the air and then come down. Even RC airplanes love remote-controlled airplanes, but there's still something different about pressing that button, whether it's you or somebody else pressing that button, and that rocket taking off a launch pad. And particularly when you're talking about amateur rockets, not just the models, something that could approach the speed of sound and break the speed of sound, go to 10,000 feet, 20,000 feet, higher, like some of these college teams are doing. Individuals that are only 10 years older, maybe 15 years older, if that, than the kids in this camp, may very well be launching rockets to the edge of space and at speeds of Mach 3 and Mach 4. That's the sort of the maximum excitement. However, even down at the smallest rocket, even I, as a 50-year-old adult that's done a fair amount of things, it's fun to see it go whoosh. It just is. And you know, I think if you deny that, I think you're probably lying to somebody. But yeah, there certainly is a gee whiz factor that's present in rocketry that's not necessarily present in other STEM-related activities.
Sticks with you, doesn't it?
Oh, it does, no question.